Hi guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. This is our Kung Fu Season 2 premiere review video. And we have a few things to talk about. This, I believe, Season 2 takes place 6 months post the big battle between Nikki Shen and Jilan, or I like to call her Lady Z. Jilan is in jail. She is not the woman she used to be. She's not fighting back for herself. There are three women bullying her in jail, and they call her princess. The guards don't really do anything to help her. It's not a good situation, and I know she's done a lot of bad stuff in season one, including killing her own sister, Pei Ling. So, I mean, I understand that she deserves the treatment that she's getting, but I already see what's happening. It's called the CW Villain Rehabilitation Program. So Lady Z is going to be rehabilitated. I already know what's going to happen. It's going to happen. In jail in this episode, she's holding on to her necklace, and by the end of the episode, they take this necklace from her, and then you see her sister, who she's seeing, basically her sister, the way Nikki was in season one, telling her it's time now for you to face me and all the bad things basically that you've done. So I think we're going to have a whole redemption episode of her facing everything and coming to terms with everything, and then having to earn back trust, or actually not even back, just earning trust from Nikki and crew, because I think they're going to need it, because they're going after Russell Tan, and Russell Tan is like Kingpin. So they're going to have problems. But anyway, so 6 months. This is something the CW likes to do. If you followed me on my Charm review yesterday, you know that also is 6 months forward. It's always a 6 month time skip in the CW shows. So 6 months since all the events of season one happened. Everybody's kind of thriving. I mean, the parents, their restaurant Harmony Dumplings is doing amazingly well. I guess they've gotten something like Uber Eats or DoorDash. And they have their own name for it, and it's been like boosting their business. So they are packed, and they can't keep up with all of the orders. The mother's cooking. You actually see her at one point with two woks, and she's like stirring food in them. She's trying to interview a new cook. His name is Sebastian, who I'm pretty sure is going to be Ryan's new love interest. And I kind of feel like he needs to have a new love interest. I was very unhappy with how him and Joe kind of ended last season, because it was so fast, and I really liked their chemistry. And I know it was more because Joe's actor had another gig, but I mean, I kind of feel like it was just really, really quick. Like he was like a catalyst for Ryan's parents dealing with the fact that he's gay. Which is fine. I love him having the closure and that, bonding moment with his parents where they accepted him. But it's like they finally accepted him, and they're like, oh, bring Joe to the family, blah, blah, blah. And then Joe's like, well, I got a job offer. I'm out. I'm like, damn it. So I'm hoping this round, if Sebastian is a new love interest, which I think he is, that he's going to stick around. And he might, because he's working for he's going to be working for Nikki and Ryan and Althea's parents at the restaurant as a cook. So, and he seems very charismatic. He's cute. He's nice. He probably has a secret. They always have secrets. You know this. You got to be a complex character in these dramas. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens with them. I will say it's funny that Ryan, who's been training with Nikki, what's really happening is Ryan is studying Nikki, and I'll get to that in a second. But the mother, when she found out he was going to go train with Nikki, she's like, when do you work out? You're not even athletic, in front of Sebastian. And he's like, Sebastian's over there smirking. And I'm like, oh, that is embarrassing. So I thought that was kind of messed up. So Nikki is basically making a name for herself all over San Francisco as a person that helps out people that can't fight for themselves. So she's been doing the same thing she's been doing in season one, getting involved in people's conflicts. We actually see her at the beginning chasing down three boys that stole some money from a till. I think their name was the Chan's place. And she recognized one of them and beat the other two guys up, and then had that guy bring back the money and apologize. So she's doing things in the neighborhood, but that guy did say, oh, I didn't realize the Nikki Shen was like chasing us down. So she's like, that's flattering, but not the point, So she's been doing pretty well. And when she's training with her brother Ryan, he's been documenting her, I guess, her blood pressure and her heart rate. And he's noticing that no matter how hard she fights and exerts herself, her body is not reflecting that. She still has a normal resting pulse and a normal heart rate, which is not normal when you're working out. So he's like, "You're a superhero," and she's like, "I'm not a mutant," and I'm like, "No, you're not." But there's obviously something residually left over from the green magical stuff that was in you in season 1. And I did know the name and it starts with a B, but I just don't feel like thinking about it. I think it's like Biage or something like that she released back into the earth. So I'm curious to see what this means for her. And we kind of knew or suspected something was going on with her, because the season finale, when her and Henry were walking down the street, I believe there were plants or flowers that were like pretty much the same flowers that were only grown in that certain region where she fought Lady Z, were growing or sprouting, when she walked by on the street. So if I remember that correctly. So yeah, there's definitely something going on with her. She definitely is retaining some of her, mystical energy, power, whatever you want to call it. All right. So Ryan is now a full-fledged doctor. So they're having a celebration for him. They're giving him crap about his love life because Althea's like, I guess Ryan's saying is sex shaming him, because since he broke up with Joe, apparently he's dated an architect. Althea's husband points out that was a long time ago, when Henry's like, "I thought you were still with the architect." And then she's like, "Oh, no. So basically he's been sleeping with everybody. I'm like, he's been very free. And you're not committed. It's fine. But it's a running joke. And I thought that was really cute. We learned also that Althea has taken a job in something I don't remember the name of it, but it's kind of like a laid back version of Google, where they're waiting for a buyout, and it's in Silicon Valley. And I guess they don't have to do anything. Like Althea finds a bug in a program for, I guess, their software or game or whatever they're doing. And she's like, if we added this new software, we could isolate this area, and the 20% of the people that use this that are getting errors won't get the error anymore. And the boss is like, "Why are you doing this? We're just sit down, have a latte, and sleep in an egg pod." I mean, they're not doing anything. It is absolutely hilarious. And Althea's like, "I'm wasting my damn life." My question, though, is Althea was in a court case against the guy who sexually assaulted her former boss. She broke an NDA. She did manage to say that she couldn't get an interview because of the gap in her work history being out of the force so long. But what came of this NDA breakage and her basically accusing him of sexually assaulting her? I mean, are we brushing that aside? Is that no longer part of the story? I mean, what happened? So I really hope they address that, because if not, that's actually going to irritate me a little bit, because that was a big part of her arc in season 1. And for them to just not even mention it in the premiere is just very odd to me. So unless I missed it, and I don't think I did. So I'm just throwing that out there. That was really, really weird. All right. So after the little get together at the bar and the crazy little chicken dances they were doing, Nikki goes home and finds that somebody is actually actively breaking into their house, and they fight it out. And she notices that she said she could sense the person. So she knew it was a female, and she knew that this person was very strong, but kind of sloppy in their technique. And she just can't shake it. And she tells Henry, how we were waiting for the other shoe to drop? Well, here it is. So her and Henry also are going strong. They're both together. So just throwing that out there too. But yeah, so now they're like trying to figure out who broke into the house and why. On the radar, they basically learn about a woman named Sasha who works for Russell Tan. And remember, Russell Tan is this series version of Kingpin. So he's a badass. He's Kerwin's dad. They make it feel like he has, like, I think even Kerwin said he has a lot of kids and he pits them against each other. He's just not a good person. So they're going to have a lot of problems with him this series, because he's going to be the big baddie this season, and he has lots of money, lots of connections. It's just going to be a thing. And I'm very curious to see how this plays out, because I don't know. I kind of feel like Russell, like Lady Z last season was a very big threat, but Russell is just going to trump that. Because I mean, even Lady Z couldn't get anything past, of a Russell Tan. So I don't know what his end game is. But we do get introduced to a new character. Now there's Sasha, who's like the player of the week, and we'll get to her. She's a mercenary that Russell Tan has hired, but he's hired her because he's trying to get to a girl named Mia. And Mia just happens to be Aunt Majo's, or Nikki's aunt, who was the former, chosen one, basically. It's her daughter that she was raising in a cabin. Now, I don't know who the daddy is, unless he's the one carving the wood and stuff in that town. But her name is Mia. She's, I think at this point is probably 20 or 21, but she was 16 when she ran away. But she was trained by her mother, so she can fight a little bit. I say a little bit. She can fight better than a normal person. But for some reason, Russell Tan wants her and hired this Sasha mercenary to kidnap her. Now, I don't know if he feels like she's the key to unlocking the destiny again. Maybe the Biage will come to her and he can take the power for himself. I don't know what it is he wants with her, but it is his objective to get her. And I also don't know how he knew about her, because as paranoid as Nikki's aunt was, I wouldn't foresee her telling or advertising that she even had a kid. But she was convinced that they were coming for her child. So I don't know what it is about Mia, but Mia is special. And Mia is basically going to be a target. And Nikki's job, I think, in most of this season is keeping her cousin safe. So that is going to be a thing. I think it's going to be a big thing. And then, back to the whole thing with Lady Z in jail. Lady Zilon, basically it's so weird to see her so non-responsive. Like, people are just using her as a doormat, and these three inmates and this guard are abusing her, and she's doing nothing to fight back. It's so bad they even go into her room. A guard lets these women into the room to beat her up and take her necklace, and she does nothing. She is very beat down. That her being beaten by Nikki and all of the realization of stuff she did, like, she loved Kerwin and she stabbed him or cut his throat. All of this stuff and killing her sister, all of these things have beaten her down. And I love that Pei-Ling is the one that she sees. And she's like, you're finally ready to face me and all the shit you did. But now it's like, how are you going to redeem I know it is the CW villain rehabilitation program, but what are you going to do to prove to these people that you can help them? It's going to be a long road in a way, because Nikki's not the type that's like, it's not like in the Arrowverse where they just kind of like, oh yeah, you're a villain, but now you're nice this week. So, okay, I guess we'll accept you. No, this is more like she's going to have to do some work. And I don't know. I honestly don't know how they're going to pull this off. But they're trying. They are trying. I also don't know how long or how many episodes Lady Z is going to be in this season, because she's also been cast as Kyoshi, I believe it's Kyoshi in the Netflix live action Avatar series. So, I mean, to be fair, Kyoshi would be a flashback Avatar, but I mean, I don't know. I'm very curious to see, how much involvement she has, but it kind of seems like she's going to have a lot to do in this season. Back to Russell Tan, though. Russell Tan is a big threat, because again, he has lots of connections. And so for him to be able to just hire a mercenary, like that is, pretty bad. He's very dangerous. And then, of course, Kerwin's not dead. He's being kept alive at home by these doctors. And at the end of the episode, he actually wakes up. Now, I don't know if Kerwin is still in love with Zilon or Lady Z. I don't know if he's pissed that she tried to kill him and he feels betrayed by her. I know he doesn't want to be with his father, because his father is an a-hole and he actually left to get away from that life. So I don't know what this means now that he technically is back with his father, back at his place, probably not allowed to leave the place. I don't know how this is going to play into the plot, but Kerwin's still alive and he's awake and he seems fully functional. So that's going to be a problem, I guess. I don't really know. Like, honestly, I don't really know what they're going to do with that. But I do think that his storyline may have a lot to do with Lady Z and her storyline and her redemption. But then it also makes me wonder, what does this mean? Because I know he was ready to just give everything up and run away with her. It was actually, Zilon who's like, you are a weakness for me because I love you and I can't have you holding me back. But that's not an issue anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know. But I do know that I'm excited to see episode 2. I want Lady Z to get back on her feet. I want her to get her necklace back from the guards. I mean, from the inmates, and stop letting them use her because that was really, it's a mess. It is a mess. I don't think Sasha, the mercenary, is going to be a repetitive character or a repeat regular. But I do know that Russell Tan does not know where Mia is right now. And Mia and her, crew that came to kidnap her at the cabin that they were at, they are the only ones that know. And Nikki said something like, does your boss know where Mia is? And she's like, no. Well, they have them bound. I don't know if they're putting them in jail. I don't know if they're going to, basically keep them out at that cabin. I don't know what they're going to do. But if they get back to Russell Tan, they're going to know where the girl is. So they have to do something. And obviously they're not going to kill them because they don't kill people. So I'm just really curious to see what Sasha and her gunmen or whatever, her team that came to kidnap Mia, what's going to happen with that, because I don't know. It's very, very weird. Like, there's so much going on this season, and I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like it really could go anyway, like either way. I think we're going to have the mystical energies part of the story, but I think we're also going to have more of the underground kingpinish mafia type situations going on as well. I don't know what they're focusing on more. And again, I don't know the real reason Russell wants her. I'm just speculating. I don't know, but I don't know the real reason why Russell wants Mia so bad. So that is a thing. The only other thing that we had was, two things. I love Dennis, and I love that Dennis is now included in their little Kung Fu Scooby group, and helping them research stuff. And, he's kind of like involved. And I also like that we still see Evan, and that Evan and Henry are actually friends and cool, even though Henry is now with Nikki. And Evan is still trying to stop what Russell, Tan's doing, buying up all the property and gentrification and all that. And that Nadia, his assistant, is helping him. And he realizes that even his own boss is basically working for Tan. So there's a lot of story going on. There's different stories going on, but they all seem to all tie into one person, and that is Russell Tan. That's why I'm saying I don't know what they're going to focus more on right now. Are they going to focus more on the criminal underground world, or the mystical side, or both, and to what extent, and does one lead into the other, and what is Russell Tan's ultimate end goal? So all of this is very interesting. Again, the one storyline I need them to go back to is Althea's, because I don't want them to just brush aside a hashtag Me Too, when they made such a big impact and were bold enough to talk about the fact that she was sexually assaulted, and that she's finally standing up for herself, just to have them not mention it at all. That's just so weird to me. So that's just me. In a nutshell. But overall, very, very good episode. Very curious for what happens next week. Very curious to see, what Russell Tan's end game is. Lots to say. Want to see Joe and Sebastian together. Want to see, what happens with, Althea and her work, drama. And will we have the hashtag Me Too storyline back? What's going to happen with, Mia, and the whole emotional reconnection with her aunt, since she didn't even know she had a family. So just a lot. How is she going to adjust to being in the Shen family? Just a lot. There's a lot to look forward to. So I'm here for it. But I want to know what you think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for Jury Duty, hit the subscribe button. If you like news next to Nerd Bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. But hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.